Espionage is an art as old as human history. Whether spies gathering information for the war strategies of ancient kingdoms, or those operating in the shadows in the modern intelligence world, espionage has evolved throughout history. But this evolution means that not only the techniques have changed, but also the motivations and the players. Names like Mata Hari, Aldrich Ames, and Kim Philby stand out as important touchstones of this transformation. The origins of espionage date back to the ancient world. In The Art of War, Chinese philosopher Sun Tzu described information as one of the most critical elements of warfare, while ancient Egyptian and Greek civilizations employed special agents to learn the secrets of their enemies. The foundations of modern espionage, however, were laid in the 16th and 17th centuries under the great European empires. Sir Francis Walsingham, Chief of Intelligence to Queen Elizabeth I of England, developed a system that is considered the forerunner of modern intelligence agencies. The most dramatic moments of this evolution took place in the 20th century. World Wars and the Cold War took the art of espionage to a whole new level. While figures like Mata Hari used the power of individual charm and manipulation to gather information, Aldrich Ames and Kim Philby turned systematic betrayal into an art form. Espionage was no longer just an individual game, but a complex collaboration of organization and technology. Mata Hari was one of the names that turned the perception of espionage of an era upside down. A Dutch dancer and world-famous figure, Mata Hari was executed by the French in 1917 for allegedly spying for the Germans, but the facts are still a mystery. At the time, she represented the face of espionage based on personal charm and manipulation. Interestingly, her story shows that espionage is a psychological war, not just a technical one. In the second half of the 20th century, espionage moved from stories of individual heroism to systematic intelligence warfare. Aldrich Ames, in a senior position in the CIA, did great damage to the United States by working on behalf of the Soviet Union. His betrayal was not only to line his own pockets, but also to threaten the security structure of the West. This shows how corporate betrayal from individual espionage has become a threat. Kim Philby was one of the most striking figures of the Cold War. While working for the British MI6, she served as a double agent for the Soviet Union. Philby's story was the most concrete example of espionage turning into an ideological war. Betraying his own homeland, Philby also revealed another aspect of modern espionage. Individuals who move in the shadows live double lives and can never be fully trusted. Today, espionage no longer relies solely on individual talent. Technologies such as satellite systems, cyber intelligence, and artificial intelligence-assisted data analysis have replaced modern spies. But these names are a reminder of how important the human factor still is. These famous spies of history are critical to understanding both the human and technological aspects of the art of espionage. Mata Hari's power of manipulation, Aldrich Ames's ambition, and Kim Philby's ideological commitment represent the different faces of espionage. Their stories reveal that even in the modern world of intelligence, the human factor is indispensable. The first image that comes to mind when we hear the name Mata Hari is her exotic dances and mystical aura. But in reality, her story resonates not only with her graceful movements on stage, but also with the tragic and mysterious story of one of the world's most famous spies. Many believe that Mata Hari was a spy during World War I, while others believe that she was a victim, falsely accused, and her tragedy over-dramatized. Mata Hari was born in the Netherlands in 1876 and was named Margaretha Geertruida Zelle. At a young age, family problems and hardships pushed her to a distant world. After marrying an officer in India, she began to attract attention with her exotic air and dances born there. In 1905, Zella returned to Europe and started performing under the name Mata Hari, and quickly became famous by reflecting the mystical world and exotic atmosphere of Asia in her performances. Her stage performances and charming personality made her one of the most popular dancers in Europe. However, in the dark shadow of the World Wars, her stage performances became as notorious as her name, which was associated with espionage. During World War I, Mata Hari was alleged by the French to have spied for Germany, and her name became part of the mysterious espionage games of the war. There were a number of serious accusations of espionage activities. There were some important allegations behind Mata Hari's accusation of espionage. The French government claimed that she had taken German military information from the French front line and transmitted it to Germany. But the facts were not always so clear. In the world of espionage at the time, many agents could only be accused on suspicion and rumor. Many of the accusations against her were not based on factual information or were full of contradictory data. One of the biggest debates, however, is how accurately or effectively Mata Hari carried out her espionage activities. Many historians argue that she was not actually a great spy, but merely a tragic story of a woman falsely accused in the war climate of the time. Another important point about her is the possibility that Mata Hari was a double agent. Indeed, while the French accused her of espionage, Germany wanted to use her as a spy. So, Mata Hari may have been someone who was considered to serve the interests of both sides. Mata Hari's execution in 1917 resonated deeply in the world of espionage. After her death, many documents on her espionage activities came to light, but they were still controversial. The documents that emerged in France showed some indications of Mata Hari's collaboration with the French and German governments, but many of these documents and allegations remain unconfirmed. According to new research, the chaos of the war and personal ambitions were behind Mata Hari's accusation of espionage. It has also been suggested that the French government may have wanted to suppress the hardships of the war and military losses through a female figure. It is also highly likely that Mata Hari was a victim, given her encounters with powerful male government officials and espionage networks of the time. Even today, the legend of Mata Hari is one of the most talked about stories about espionage. With each passing year, new theories about her life are put forward, and different views on Mata Hari's espionage activities are discussed in the light of ancient documents. Many historians and writers believe that she was not just a victim, but a complex figure in this complex and cruel world. Aldrich Ames is one of the figures associated with the greatest betrayal of American intelligence. In 1962, Ames joined the CIA and spent years spying for the Soviet Union, leading to the deaths of American agents and the leak of vast amounts of classified information to the Soviets. But what is surprising is that the CIA failed to recognize this betrayal for years. Ames was motivated not only by the Soviet Union, but also by a desire for personal enrichment. The betrayal of Aldrich Ames working for the Soviet Union. In his role at the CIA, Ames leaked valuable information to Soviet intelligence services. His espionage activities contained critical information, especially about agents of the Soviet Union, which led to the deaths of Americans. The Soviets used this information very efficiently to decipher the CIA's agents. During the period Ames was spying, critical information about the military strategies of the Soviet Union was obtained. His espionage activities, which began in 1985, were revealed in 1994. The fact that Ames spied for 9 years and the CIA failed to detect it is an important lesson in organizational weaknesses. The CIA's inadequate security measures at the time, lack of accountability, and misunderstandings led to Ames's capture. Moreover, the methods Ames used to leak information to the Soviet Union were very careful and professional. Rank-and-file officials in the CIA ignored Ames's lifestyle changes, especially his luxury spending. This incident once again demonstrated the importance of security and oversight requirements in the intelligence world. Kim Philby is another name associated with the greatest betrayal in the world of espionage. Philby was a top agent for the British intelligence service MI6, while at the same time spying for the Soviet Union. This double life is much more than just a story of espionage. Philby manipulated Britain's security framework so deeply that everyone trusted him. Philby began collaborating with the Soviet Union while studying at Cambridge University. His spy career, which began in the 1930s, led him to British intelligence, where he gained access to critical information. The group known as the Cambridge Five worked for the Soviet Union under Philby's leadership. In 1951, as Philby's treachery began to emerge, the British government moved to arrest him. However, Philby managed to escape to the Soviet Union. When he settled in Moscow, the Soviet government treated him as a hero. This was the climax and the end of Philby's career as a spy. His years in Moscow shaped his life, where he was recognized as a revolutionary and devoted himself entirely to the Soviets. Philby's betrayal caused a major crisis in British intelligence. It led to the failure of many operations and the killing of many of its agents. Philby's espionage caused MI6 to rethink its security processes, and it taught the intelligence world many important lessons. The world of espionage is not limited to leaking secret information. Spies have mastered many different techniques: secret communications, encrypted messages, double life, and more. These were techniques that were critical for spies to continue their activities and survive. Covert communication is the most important weapon of spies. Spies have used a wide variety of methods to disguise their messages: ciphers, broken codes, special software, and even simple changes of meaning in current language. These techniques used in espionage are important not only to transmit information, but also to conceal it from enemies. In conclusion, these influential spies throughout history have profoundly affected not only their time, but also the world of intelligence today. Figures such as Kim Philby, Mata Hari, and Aldrich Ames have helped us to gain a deeper understanding of the nature of espionage and the test of human nature with loyalty and betrayal. Betrayal, ideology, and personal motivations have always been the most important elements in the world of espionage. Today, intelligence services still learn from such cases, and the world of espionage is an ongoing struggle. The legacy of these legendary spies still lives on in their shadows, a reminder of the depth and complexity of the espionage profession.